Tonight's dinner is going to be a little more labor intensive. It's a cheesy sausage hash brown casserole, one of my family's absolute favorites. You need a 30-ounce bag of shredded hash browns, 1 can of cream of chicken soup, 1.5 cups of sour cream, a 1/4 cup of butter times 2, 3 cups of sharp cheddar cheese that is shredded, a 4-ounce can of green chilies, a cup of chopped onion, salt, pepper, and a 1-pound sausage roll. I prefer the hot sausage. And then you're also going to need some cornflakes that you're going to crush with the other 1/4 cup of melted butter. Okay, the first thing you're going to want to do here is get your sausage out of the sausage roll. I like to cut off the ends and then just cut it right down the middle. And as I said, you can use whatever kind of sausage you like for this. We just happen to like a hotter sausage. You want to get your sausage into your pan and get that cooking, breaking it apart as you cook it with a fork. The other thing you're going to want to do is preheat your oven to 350 degrees. And then get your sausage cooking over about a medium heat. And I usually use 2 forks just to break it up because it works easier for me. Sausage doesn't break up and cook up quite as easily as hamburger does. And like I said, you can use a sage sausage, you can use a straight pork sausage, you can use a turkey sausage, you can use any type of sausage you want, but it's about 1 pound of sausage that you're going to want to brown up. As I said, it doesn't come apart very easily. So just get that started in your pan, and then while you do that and brown your meat up, we've got a lot of other prep that we can do while this is starting to cook. Here's a bit of practical advice for you when you're making this. You're going to need a really big bowl because everything's going to end up going into this bowl. So the first thing you want to do is get your cream of chicken soup and your sour cream put into this bowl. All right, to this, got my handy dandy spatula again. Put the cream of chicken soup in there, then you're going to add a 1.5 cups of sour cream. And then once you get all of that in there, mix it up really well. Because then to this, you're going to add all of your other ingredients. You're going to add your chopped onion, your can of green chilies, salt and pepper. The only thing you're not going to add in yet is your sausage and your cheese and your potatoes. And your potatoes should be sitting out on the counter to defrost right now. We also have to melt butter and put that in there also. Okay, once you have your onions chopped, you can go ahead and throw those in there. And for my friend Paul, who doesn't like onions, and I know I put onions in almost everything, you do not have to put the onions in here if you don't care for onions. So Paul, omit onions. Teaspoon of salt, and also a teaspoon of pepper. A little bit more than I needed in there. And a can of green chilies. And I put my butter in the oven. Give that a good mix. I put my butter in the microwave oven, melted it in there, and I put it in for just about 2 minutes on a power level of about 3, and that usually gets it melted without having it overflow all over the place and explode. Ooh, those are strong onions. Let me grab that butter out of the microwave. So here's our first 1/4 cup of butter. And just put that in. And then give this a good mix. And after this is mixed in, then I said that the recipe calls for 3 cups of cheese. What you're going to do is only put 2 cups of cheese inside this mixture. So once this gets mixed up, we'll throw 2 cups of cheese in there and mix that in afterward. I always like to get this all together and mixed really well before I throw the cheese in. Here we go. Here's 1 cup of cheese. Here's our 2nd cup of cheese. And then we're just going to give this also a nice mix, get this all mixed well. And then we're almost ready to add in our sausage, which should be about done now, but make sure if there's any fat in that sausage that you get it drained out before you add this mixture. This is where it's going to get really hard after we put the potatoes in. Okay, I'm switching to my bigger spatula for this next part. Call in the big guns here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add in my drained sausage. I always like to drain it on paper towel. Make sure it gets a lot out. And then you're going to take the entire bag, 30 ounces of hash browns. This is why I said you're going to need a really big bowl, and this is why I pulled out my big spatula. And then we just start mixing. Fold it first, that way you'll keep stuff in the pan as best as possible. And just fold it. And after you start getting it folded, pretty soon you'll be able to just mix it really well. If I'm being totally honest, this is the point where I usually call Zeke into the kitchen and make him mix this. So once that's mixed and evenly coated, you grab your baking pan and you want to make sure that's sprayed or coated. And then grab your pan and you're going to dump all of your ingredients into your 9x13 baking pan. I guess I never told you that. Give it a good scrape down. As I said, I usually call and have someone help me with this, but I think I got it today. Then you just want to spread this out evenly into your 9x13 pan. The next thing we have to do is we have to grab our cornflakes and crush those up. And then we're going to add those to the top. And what I usually do is grab 2 cups and I grab maybe like a quart-sized plastic bag and just crush them up. Okay, the reason I use a quart bag is sometimes they're a little heavier duty. Just crunch these up. But if you crunch up corn chips in a bag that's like a sandwich bag, it pokes through a little bit. And then when you go to pour your butter into it, it has a tendency to leak out. So then I give it a close, quick close back up, and make sure that your corn chips all get buttered up. And by the way, this is not a low-fat recipe, which you obviously can tell. So the next thing you want to do is take your last cup of cheese and evenly spread that across the top. And then I'm going to take your cornflake mixture And then just evenly spread these across the top too. My kids said this is the favorite part of the hash brown casserole. They love it when it comes out of the oven and there's all the crunchy cornflakes on top. So once you have these evenly distributed across the top, then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to put it into the oven, but first you want to cover it with aluminum foil. And then you're going to put it in the oven for 30 minutes. And then after the 30 minutes, you're going to take the foil off and cook it another 30 minutes. Just come out of the oven, steaming hot and lovely. Enjoy, stay safe out there. Have a great night, everyone.